This is Ruben Lowen here in McAllen, Texas. This is my leadership talk for today. So, in our business, there's you get a lot of rejection, especially in the beginning. Okay, when you're talking to people that they've known you for years and the way they've known you, and it wasn't doing this. Okay, and it got me to thinking about what makes the difference between the person that becomes a SMD and a CEO and beyond in this business and somebody who never gets going. They never happen. I mean, you can say it's because they didn't plug into the system, but I got some different experiences. Okay, in boxing and it being a Navy SEAL, I saw guys that, man, their whole life, ever since they saw Rocky, they wanted to be a boxer. And then they go to the gym and they do the training, and they're loving it, right? And then they got to get in the ring and spar, and they realize pretty fast that it's not patty cake, right? And they get somebody that's really throwing punches at them and really hitting them in the face, right? And then they're like, it's not worth it. Something they want to do their whole life, and they just throw it out the window. Okay. And then I go to SEAL training, and I got a little different experience than most people. I went through Hell Week 2 times, twice complete. Okay. And the first time, I caught pneumonia, and I got my performance dropped off drastically. But there was this one point in the first Hell Week. They make you write an essay. It's like in the afternoon, right? You just got done eating chow. They put you in a classroom. They turn the heat up. They turn the lights down. They start playing this soft music. And if you fall asleep, you got to go hit the surf and get wet and sandy, right? So I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to do that. So I'm writing. This sucks. I'm shaking. I'm freezing. All right, and I can't hardly write because I'm shaking so bad. But I'm like, this sucks. I hate this. Da 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 da. Right, and then after that, things really got bad for me. Right, and then they ended up giving me a health and comfort inspection midnight on Friday morning, and I had pneumonia, and I was coughing up blood and all this kind of stuff. And they pulled me out of the class. I got to stay with the class, but I was miserable from the rest of the time, and I got dropped halfway, 12 and a half weeks into training. And I went back, and I was committed to getting back into SEAL training. Didn't know how I was going to do it. I just kept trying, reapplied 7 times to get back into training. They told me no 6 times. Finally, I got back in the 7th time, but I learned a little bit of something. Okay, about nutrition. I continued to eat carbohydrates nonstop the whole time I was in the chow hall. Every time I, ate nonstop. If you keep eating, the instructors leave you alone. And I had my faculties. I was strong. I maintained 140 pounds all the way through Hell Week, right? And I was strong when I got through it. When I got to that essay that time, I wrote a very patriotic essay the second time, right? And that was my intention, right? And so here's the second time I went through Hell Week. There's 120 guys started the class both times, right? I wasn't paying attention the first time, but the second time I was. 44 guys quit before breakfast on Monday morning. And then you have to go through an extensive screening process to even get there. There's no wimps that get into SEAL training, okay? What made the difference between the guys that made it and the ones that didn't is their focus, okay? They were always looking for their reason why. The sun coming up in the morning, whether it makes you feel any warm or not, gives you that illusion of warmth, it's more time behind you. You get to eat 4 times a day, all right, an hour. As long as you keep eating, the instructors will leave you alone, right? There might be some cute little Filipino girl I could could get to smile at me when I was going through the chow hall that I could look forward to, right? And there was, you know, if every evolution was more time behind you, right? And if somebody else quit, at least I was better than them. Okay, so you're always looking for that silver line. You're always looking for your reason why you're gonna make it, right? In this business, there's a lot of little stumbling, little pebbles that'll trip you up, right? And if you don't keep your eye on what we're doing and why you're doing it, you will fall away. Okay, and there's there's a difference in the leadership. Okay, you're either a leader or you're being led. And when you got your friends and your family that reject this business and they reject you, all right, they don't want to be led by you. They think they're leading you. Okay, and people will make up the whole direct marketing, the whole network marketing strategies there's no different than any other sales job out there. It's no different than any other sales. Everybody is marketing to their warm market. Everybody knows what you do. I don't care what you're doing. Right? You make sure everybody knows what you're doing. Right? And if they want to do business with you, great. Right? If they don't, hey, maybe they can refer you to somebody that needs what you're selling, right? It's no different. The difference is, in our business, you can offer somebody the opportunity to do the same thing you're doing, right? Well, that's I remember when I first got in this business, I was a mortgage broker. I go to a Kiwanis Club meeting, I'm all excited. I give the guy my card. It says, Ruben Loewen, broker, right? And the guy goes, "Oh, we do mortgages too." I didn't want to talk to him. He was my competition, right? He showed the presentation, the financial foundation, the rule of 72. I'm like, oh, that rule of 72, that was interesting, right? I was getting 4% at the bank, right? I'm like, I knew that wasn't gonna get me to the promised land, and I was making pretty good money, and I figured I started, I used my own understanding, right, on what I knew about, and I put together an LLC for production of an interactive boxing television show where the audience, it cost me I did 2 treatments. I paid for them both. Totaled $75,000 of my money, all I had, right? And then I went to talk to the Mark Ratner, the Nevada State Athletic Commissioner, and he told me the officials won't let you do it. I was out of business and out of money, right? That's what happens. That's what happens to people who got to play catch up, okay? Because they're not taking care of their money. They're not saving their money when they're younger, all right? They're not letting time work for them. They get behind, and then they end up taking undue risk, right? Speaking from experience, all right? If you don't have, this whole financial education is saving people from themselves, saving people from taking what they're learning, from some guy selling pie in the sky, right, on the internet. There's a billion success coaches out there, and they're selling. You're paying them for advice, okay? And hey, I know people that their advice works, right? And it was worth it for them, okay? What we have, right, is we have the vehicle to make it work for anybody. We have the vehicle to make it work for everybody, okay? And the system, what is the system? I remember being in SEAL training, about halfway through training, I'm like, what do I do? After evening chow, I go check the schedule for the next day and the gear list, and we sweep, we dust, sweep, mop, wax the floors, buff the floors, right? We shine our boots. We sharpen our K-bar and our dive knife. We clean our life jacket and polish our CO2 cartridge. We starch our hat. We polished our belt buckles. All right. We made sure we took our uniforms to the cleaners and got them pressed. Right. The everything was a routine. I'm thinking they're training me to be a butler, right? But when when you're in the field and your knife is sharp, you can cut line when you need to cut line, right? You know where everything's at. Your weapon's gonna function properly, right? You know that you've got it together, right? That takes you to the next step because you can do things. You're prepared. Okay. That is that's the system for the SEAL teams. That's their system. And guess what? Only the ones, and this is the key to what I'm talking about, only the ones who want it bad enough, no matter what's going on, no matter how cold it is or how harsh the instructors are yelling at you, or how hard it is or how tired you are, nothing is going to keep me from getting to being a Navy SEAL, right? In a boxing ring, man, both guys are sitting there looking at each other like they're going to kick the other guy's butt. The first one that changes their mind loses, right? And that's what this is all about. Okay, you got a whole bunch of people that think they're leading you, and they ain't going to let you lead them, all right? And they're not, and that's all that's about. Right? That's all that's about. Right? It's moving your place up in the pecking order. That's all this is about. When you talk to somebody and they don't move, move up the pecking order, right? The guy on my team that's got the most activity right now is already a millionaire. What's that tell you? What does that tell you? Right? But you know why he's that way? Because he recruited somebody who really had a vision, who really has a dream. She knows exactly what she wants, right? And she's the most attentive, studious recruit I've ever had, right? Because she's got a dream, right? And he's like, oh, I better pay attention, right? Because why? He wants to be the leader, all right? Guy wrote out 1,600 names in his prospect list. Probably only gave me 90 of them. Of those 90, I got 15 of them that are, that responded positively. Okay, and we're going to follow up and close on them, right? But that can happen for anybody, right? You only need one. They always tell you only need one, right? You only need one person with a vision. Okay. It'd be good if it's you. Be a good thing if it's you. All right. Have a great week. A great Monday. Bye.